Hey.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing. How you doing?
Good. I had a meltdown.
Are you doing better?
I'm great,
Okay,
yeah.
well, what happened? Tell them what you want to tell them.
High key, it just was a really long week. You know, I think I got my period. That was cool. You know, fascism is just abundant.
All the country.
And Father's Day. It was a lot of just things piling on top of each other. And then unfortunately I had to take it out on my boyfriend, but he's lovely.
Well, he's listening right now, smirking and being, it's okay to make Nick the nicest person alive.
I know. But you know, he's amazing and he's so loving. And anyway, but yeah.
Well, I was almost on the verge of a meltdown after I would call it cinema, whatever we saw last night. I don't know. We're going to have to come up with a new name. We'll get into it. But in the meantime, we have this like really hot, cool person here who's just listening to us talk. So welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dayna Kathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
Christina Kirkman,
I feel
welcome
like
to Disrespectfully.
Thank you so much. I felt like in SNL, what's that character that Kristen Wiig plays that has the huge forehead and the little hands?
Oh my, wait.
I don't know the name,
What's her
but
name?
I know
and
the
it's
hands.
like they show like all the beautiful girls, and then it just like pans over, and she's like, "And I'm fine." That's how
I'm
I felt.
so
Yeah.
And
What's her fucking name?
What is her name?
Judy.
Judy.
Is that what she says? And I'm Judy.
And I'm Judy.
Yeah, I was giving Judy here.
The thing is, no one's ever said that about you because
No,
you're objectively
right.
so hot. I mean, you just
Thank
did
you.
something with Playboy or like not that long ago. And
Thank
I know
you.
this because I'm both obsessed with Playboy and your overall hotness.
Thank you.
So we're going to get
much.
into that.
Thank you.
Curious, do you have a dad? Do you love your dad or what's up with that?
Yeah.
Just get right into it.
I'm just curious because
Yes.
I don't speak to my dad and her dad's, dead. So
Dead. Yeah.
So
Big bummer.
I have a stepdad who's
Great.
been in my life since I was 3, and he's amazing. He's the world's greatest dad. My biological father is not. You know, it's so interesting. If you want to get right into it.
I do. What's up with bio dads, man? That
yeah.
should be my t-shirt. I need a
What's up
Dude,
with
it's
bio dads.
Dude, bio dads, man. I feel like I was just having this conversation yesterday with my boyfriend because my mom was a single mom for a period of time, and my mom got pregnant with me very young. And then had to deal with all of the stigma. She comes from a pretty traditional, her parents were from Italy, and she got pregnant out of wedlock and very young, and she had to deal with all of that. And it's funny because to my knowledge, my stepdad came into my life when I was so young, and he's so incredible, and he was such a great male role model that I always was like, oh, I'm lucky enough that I'm not impacted by the fact that my biological father was a piece of shit. And one of my best friends, she's very well versed in therapy, and actually every day she's like sending me. She's like, "You need to go to therapy." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm getting there." She's really good at helping me understand things that maybe I've always thought were a little bit taboo. And she's like, whether or not you realize that has an impact on, there's like a whole part of you that is impacted by this person that you really don't know. And I was thinking on Father's Day, I'm like, it's so weird that there is somebody out there who is half me, and I know really nothing about aside from just all of the trauma and
generational traumas.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Because sometimes like I really love ignorance is bliss. Like I really am finding that like sometimes I think that's my fear with therapy too, is like, oh, if I have to unpack it, then I'm like reliving it, And I think now as I get older, I'll do things and I'm like, where the fuck does that come from? Like, I wonder if that comes from there, But then it's like, do I have to know?
Ignorance is bliss.
Huge
fan.
I think there's part of it because we always say, or I do, since my dad is not in my life, be your own daddy.
Yeah,
like I'm into
love
that.
it.
And I did used to say a lot, which I now regret because it's stupid, being like, having daddy issues is boring. So I would kind of just be above it. But then I was like, the way that our culture, I think around women specifically, it's like a dig at you if you were mistreated by the first man in your life who was supposed to be the one who was protecting you and loving you. And people like talk to women who have daddy issues. And I'm like, yeah, why don't I go fuck myself? I didn't have a good dad. What did you do? You didn't do anything to participate in that.
Totally.
I do think it affects us.
100%. And I think there is
My
like a lot of
therapist says
shame around it. But I think, a lot of times there are mothers that have to play both roles. And sometimes there are mothers that play both roles better than if you were to have both traditional roles,
Because women can do it all.
Totally.
Yeah, we can. Well, it was Father's Day yesterday, guys, which is I don't normally just ask my guests, like, what's your familial status?
Yeah.
So sorry, maybe
no,
we
I
should
was like,
back
hey,
it
if
up.
that's a prerequisite, like, hey, I'm down. But yeah, Father's Day, that was a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
We're happy about your stepdad's amazing. We love him.
Amazing.
What's his name?
His name is Chris.
Hi, Chris. If he's
Shout
out
out
there
to
listening.
Chris.
Dad.
Don't listen to this, my God.
I got my
here.
dad. My parents have gone through quite a lot over the past 5 years, and my dad was just out here, and there's this like really fancy gym by our house that my boyfriend goes to. And
Planet Fitness?
No, the Bay Club.
Oh.
Yeah, like
That just
I know
sounds
this is
fancy.
I know we like moved to the fucking South Bay. We're like a couple of dicks now. And my dad, like before he came out, he was like, "Hey, and anytime Shane goes to the Bay Club, like I'll come with him." So like all week they went. So then I got my dad a year membership to Lifetime Fitness back home. So he's been there every
Lifetime
day.
is
I know.
nice.
I know. I know. It's not cheap.
What's back home for you?
Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Born and
always want to
raised?
go there.
Yeah, I was born and raised in a suburb 15 minutes north of the city. And then I went to Emerson, so I went to school in the city. And then I've been back and forth out here since I was 10.
Oh, yeah.
Your voice went up when I said
Boston.
Boston. What's
Okay, no. So what's funny is also I'm from Seattle, and people
Okay.
we say I'm from South Seattle. I'm from the like not great area of Seattle,
Okay.
so everyone just says
I'm not
that as a
familiar with
blanket
Seattle, so
statement.
you could have said whatever. I would have just said, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to, as this goes, I'm going to put Easter eggs that are all lies. I'm going to wait till you see which one is
Great.
not.
Okay, I love that game.
Have you been to Boston?
No, I wanted to go to Boston. I've been to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But Salem.
Oh,
The
well,
witchy
I went
part.
to the high school that I went to was like 10 minutes from Salem.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's really cool. Oh, yeah, you
We
guys
gotta-
are like into horror and witch. You would
Yeah.
probably love
A
Salem.
reputation
The
for season.
hexes.
Yeah,
You know.
you love that shit.
Yeah, love
Yeah.
it.
We've
Salem's
talked
amazing.
about like maybe this fall of going
Oh,
back.
yeah.
I want to go. She's been before for the whole hoopla, and I was
Yeah, we
definitely
went
burned
before
at the stake in a
Halloween. You
past
don't wanna
life,
go-
so
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
Maybe
Right-
in September.
Yeah.
That's September,
That's-
October is.
I went like beginning or mid October.
Yeah.
They said oh, you don't want to be there for Halloween. It's like it's weird.
It gets a little. I mean, there's always like some dangerous shit that happens too. Yeah.
Well, speaking of, what happened to your hand?
Yeah,
you were
oh,
just showing
dude,
us a horrible
yeah.
injury. What's going on? with you?
Okay, actually, this is okay. I was just saying. Also, is there a piece of fucking hair stuck on my face? Do you see it? You know when like you're glowy. I feel something right here.
like a tickle. Well, is
Yeah.
it? Did it?
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
my God.
Oh, I
feels
hate,
good.
I hate when you can't find the
I get
origin
so
of the hair.
overstimulated when I feel
When
it
it's-
all day.
When it's on your lip.
no, done. I'm just
Nothing sends
Done.
me into like girl interrupted mode more than when I can't figure out where it's
Same,
coming from, but
same.
it's like in your eye.
Same,
Sorry,
I get really
continue.
irritable. Thank you for
Okay,
doing
yeah.
that.
So what's
No, I was just saying yesterday that I feel like my mental health lately is it's terrible. But I feel like it's a toxic ex in the sense that I'm so desperate that I'm changing things about myself for it to like
Wow.
approve of me. Like I started reading a book, I don't read. I don't even like
Green eggs and ham,
dude.
Like, what was the book?
Well,
you
this is
chose?
the funniest thing. I made a video on TikTok and I'm like, my mental health is so bad. I started reading a fantasy book, and everybody thought I was reading these two specific fantasy books that are like for very advanced readers. And they're like, oh,
Harry
it's gonna be
Potter.
this one. And I like look up that one. I'm like, that one's 800 pages. No, when I said fantasy, I didn't mean like that end of the spectrum. I literally chat GBT'd, which like whatever, consume me. I chat GBT'd and I was like, hey chat, I'm fucking depressed and I don't want to go to therapy. So I'm like, I'm gonna try to read a book. I fucking hate reading. Can you recommend a book that's like good for someone who hates reading, really can't read? I like Harry Potter. I like Lord of the Rings. What do you got? It's called The House on the Cerulean Sea.
Oh, I read that.
Is it? Is this okay? Hold on. Is this like? Are people gonna laugh at me when I say that that's the book I'm
No,
reading?
it's really cute. It's a cute book.
So they are gonna fucking laugh at me. It's really cute. Your voice went up like 10 octaves. Great.
It's okay. Like are you like reading it or are you like audio booking it? Because I'll say I'm reading something, but I'm listening to it.
No, I'm
Yeah.
forcing myself to read
Okay. Good
read
for
it.
you.
I'm forcing myself. But what it spit out like you like the well, first of all, chat was like, well, you should go to therapy. But here are your books. And this one, it gave me like it's probably 10 options, and this one said, think Harry Potter meets Schitt's Creek. And I was like, oh, I'm getting that book.
wait, I want to read it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 90 pages in, and that's not because I've only read for like 2 days. That's like 12 sessions of reading, and I'm 90 pages in. But that's how bad my mental health is. So I'm changing things about myself in pure desperation that I will receive approval. So I went bike riding yesterday, which I'm athletic.
You know what? That's great. Physical activity, stuff for your mind. It's not like dudes that just like become a DJ.
Right.
You know, that seems like the healthier avenue.
I agree, but every time I try to do, she had that one in the chamber.
If you became a DJ, though, we would come to your show. We would love it.
No,
but if it's a man,
I'm sorry. I like eat up those memes that are like men will literally do anything but go to
avoid therapy. Yeah. But that's also kind of me. That's also kind of me.
Okay. Well,
but I'm getting there. I'm aware of it now. I'm just like I'm one more rainy day away from being like I gotta go.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're one more physical injury, I would say. You don't have skin on your right palm.
So was this the bike riding?
So this is what happens.
You can't even get a palm reader now if you wanted to. You don't have anything left.
Right. I also wouldn't want to put them through that. But I'm also thinking this is my boyfriend. I'm thinking my boyfriend is bad luck because I am very athletic, okay? And I'm very coordinated. When we first started dating, I split my head open surfing, had to get stitches. We went skateboarding, split my back open.
Oh.
Then what else did I do? Oh, and then I fucked up my shit bike riding another time. So anyway, I blame him. But I was like, let's go ride a bike. I'm like, this is some wild behavior for me to be like, let's go fucking ride a bike. And I can ride a bike.
You know what's better than going to the beach?
What?
Going to the beach with some bread. The kind you eat, not the kind you spend. It's great for you, great for your friends, and great for the seagulls.
I was trying to feed seagulls cash, so I guess that's where I got that wrong.
That's right.
A little sandwich, a little bagel, a little wrap, all while getting a beautiful tan in the sunshine through our SPF, though. These are the little things that make life worth living.
Yeah, and what better kind of bread to use than Hero Bread? With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in your favorite bready meals guilt-free.
Your health seagulls? Like enjoying a bagel breakfast sandwich, burgers, or brats with soft, fluffy buns, sandos for an easy lunch, or even meal prep enchiladas. Their baked goods are mouthwatering while being ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and high in fiber.
My favorite part about Hero Bread is the range. I'm talking sliced bread, buns, tortillas, croissants, biscuits, and more.
Heard of their 4-gram net carb bagel with 19 grams of protein? Well, make sure you're sitting down because Hero Bread now also has 5-gram net carb everything bagel with 17 grams of protein.
That's huge.
Huge.
Huge. And you never guess it's low net carb and high fiber bread from the texture because it is delish. It's just beautiful, flaky, tender goodness. Plus, with small batch drops of indulgent favorites like the popular 2-gram net carb Hero Croissant, you're always getting every type of bread you could ever dream of.
Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to herobread.co and use code disrespectfully at checkout. That's disrespectfully at HERO.co. Hey, Katie, I have a question for you. What's the best thing to come out of Australia?
Oh, okay. It's definitely probably 100% Jamay, private schoolgirl, and Summer Heights High.
Well, I'll raise your Jamay because she's Jamazing and give you a Mr. G.
Oh.
Because Mr. G really informed a lot of how I am as a person.
I think so too.
We love it so much. And honestly, there's almost never been anything better. But what if I told you there's a new Aussie import that matches the level of that excellence?
Well, that seems virtually impossible.
Well, you know what, Katie? It's not. And I'm not going to fight with you about it. I'm talking about Aussie's newest export that finally is available in the U.S., the Koala sofa bed.
Koala makes the most comfortable mattresses and sofa beds that actually use their mattress technology inside. Inspired by the Aussie Outback, Koala delivers Instagram-worthy color options, so no sad beige or millennial gray here.
And thank God for that. Unlike traditional sofa beds, Koalas are designed for pure comfort. Even better, no Allen wrenches, no stress, no tears. Everything comes in a box, easily slides, clicks, or screws together. I'm not using a tool ever, so I'm glad for that.
Well, Koala is also perfect for small spaces. Koala sofa bed comes in 3 sizes to fit smaller spaces, plus it's eco-friendly and ethical. B Corp certified and proud member of 1% for the planet. Have donated more than $6.5 million to environmental causes like the World Wildlife Foundation.
Koala also offers free shipping and free returns with no delivery or restocking fees. That's almost unheard of in the industry. And they offer a 120-night risk-free trial, nearly 4 months to make sure it's the perfect fit for your home.
I just love Australia. Upgrade your space with the most stylish, customizable, and elevated sofa bed available. Get up to $250 off your new sofa, plus fast shipping. Go to us.koala.com/disrespectfully. That's us.koala.com/disrespectfully to get up to $250 off your new sofa. Koala. Comfy, easy, sustainable.
There's nothing more embarrassing than falling on a bike, especially an e-bike.
I was going to say, was it a beach cruiser?
No, it was an e-bike. Okay,
e-bike.
So this is what happened. Again, I'm like really trying to lock in with the mental health. Just get out, ride a bike. I don't know. I'm riding on the fucking Strand. And I'm like, I understand now. I talk a lot of shit about, but I really don't like street bikers, like bikers that I don't like them. And I hate to generalize. They're just, as a collective, I don't appreciate them. And I'm so sorry if either of you ride in the bike lane.
I appreciate the sentiment because I agree with it.
We have definitely talked shit about cyclists.
They're just
we had a dip in listeners, probably a lot of cyclists at the time.
I'm so sorry.
I've almost squished like 20, so yeah.
But then I also yesterday,
it's a sore spot.
On the Strand, I kind of was like, I kind of get why they're very aggressive. I hate when I'm walking and I hear, on your left, on your left, on your left. I'm like, all right, dude, fucking just go. I should have done that. Because what happened was you got one lane going this way, one lane going this way. And, you got to like weave in and out. Like you're going slow. I'm going to go around you. I'm watching both lanes. Well, the bitch in front of me had a fucking, like, those net things behind a bike that either carry like a dog or a baby.
Oh, like with the little wheels on them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Has like a black screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she's carrying one of those. If that's like being a semi truck, you can't be switching lanes. Like you stick to one lane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm doing good. I'm like going in and out. I'm doing everything to avoid having to scream on your left, on your right. Cause I would rather fuck my shit up than say that, because it's
humiliation ritual.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm like, just let me go. Well, I tried to like close the gap. So she started drifting a little bit and I was like, it's fine. It's like, maybe it's like a Tesla. It'll start like beeping at her, let her know something's. So then she starts drifting more. So at this point I'm like, I got to close the gap. So I fucking rev that. All I needed to do was just say on your left and she would have known. But I was like, I'd rather die right now than scream on your left. And then it was just like the end of the sidewalk and my wheels spun out and I felt it happen in slow motion. And I literally remember I'm like hosting a big brand event this week. And almost every time I have like a campaign or a shoot, my manager calls me and she's like, for the love of fucking God, please wear a helmet.
Don't do
anything because I always fuck my shit up. And earlier that day, because I really like doubled down. I went on a hike before this. I was like doing the most.
Oh.
I was
if
like,
I'm hiking,
you are not among us friends right now.
Call the police.
We are not hikers.
Yeah, no. Well, by hike, I mean I put on sneakers and I walked across a not flat ground. It wasn't really a hike, but I was walking along some rocks by the water, and some of them were loose. And I remember in my mind being like, don't fuck your shit up. You're spending a lot of money on hair and makeup this week. Don't fuck your shit up. And I didn't fuck my shit up. And then as I was going down on the bike, I was thinking, I go, oh my God, my manager's going to be so mad. But it's crazy because I got up and the bitch was like, are you okay? And I was like, just fucking go. I don't even want to fucking just go because you are ridiculous. And then I got up and so many people saw, and it was Father's Day. So like a couple dads pulled over and they like had Band-Aids.
Well, maybe... You know what? You might be onto something in terms of dating pool situations, and everyone's always looking for a daddy.
I've never had so many dads.
I'm going to start bicycling places the dads are congregating.
You have to fuck your shit up. Because all of them had Ziplocs. They were like, oh, we have kids, we're prepared. And I'm like, I'm 32. But it's so crazy when you're running on adrenaline, because this happened when I split my head open. I popped up. My boyfriend was like, that was a really good save, because I was so nervous about I rented the bike. I was so nervous about fucking up the bike that I like fell in a way that would save the bike. And I like had my head up because I was a gymnast. So I know how to like usually not fall on my head. And I got up and I was like, oh, I'm fine. And then I looked down and my whole hand was split open. It's gone. Yeah. But it's crazy when like you don't even feel it. And now I didn't shave for this episode, but I feel like it's a safe place.
Let me take a look.
I've iced it, but if you feel this, it's a giant fucking welt.
May I?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have you feel mine, but mine is worse.
It looks dark. Like
you can feel it. Hurts.
Yeah, I'm wearing fucking lace-up shoes.
You
got one too?
Feel that? I did shave, but see how it's just like a little bit of an egg that's coming? Want to know what I did? Walked near my bed that I've been living in the same place for 4 years.
But that's understandable. It is less embarrassing to fall just like existing than to fall on a fucking e-bike. Like it was, I was like, I'm gonna take my life right now. Like it was so embarrassing. And I'm like, no one saw that, right? And my boyfriend was like, mind you, it was like the Strand on fucking Father's Day. He's like, yeah, no, babe, no.
Oh, it's on TikTok, I'm sure. I haven't seen it yet, but
the local news.
And that's always my first thought. I go, God, if someone's recording this and ends up on TikTok, I'm gonna fucking spiral.
I gotta add that's because I want to keep a list of like things that are embarrassing or feel embarrassing but really shouldn't. Like saying I'm on your left, asking for help in a grocery store. Oh yeah, walking across a crosswalk. Like things I'd rather die.
Oh
than
well,
do.
that's also finding a fucking book at a bookstore.
No, I don't go in there.
Oh no, I walked in. I said, I was Googling like, where do I couldn't find this fucking book. I think that I'm educated until I have to do my ABCs and like find things in chronological order. I don't know my ABCs. I'm like in the wrong. I'm like, is it by the first name, by the last name? I couldn't find that. I had to like go up to someone. I was like, can you guys check if you have this book for me? I'm like, there's like young children that are finding the book. And they're like, well, did you check this? There's like this section and this section. I'm like, just give me this is already such a shameful experience for me. Just give me the fucking book. Well,
in terms of what's embarrassing, the Dewey Decimal System. Is there anything more embarrassing than that? Like if you have to, it's, in libraries, like how you follow along. I don't think Barnes and Noble.
I was like, the embarrassing thing. I don't know what a Dewey Decimal System is.
Please. Yeah. Dewey Decimal. Well, it's how you seek books.
I know. This is how long it's been since I've been in a library.
Dude. It's terrible. And then and they are fucking on it too. Oh, you're looking for so-and-so? That is in the youth to adult fantasy section. I'm like, what? Okay. Like it's a lot.
Here's the thing. Were you never a big reader?
Never.
And it was like,
no, I can't read a fucking book.
I was a voracious reader. I now listen to an audiobook like once a week.
You use words like voracious, so.
Well, so I listen to like an audiobook a week, but TikTok has ruined and the general state of the world is just like ruined my attention span.
Right.
Do you feel like that has contributed to that?
Oh my God. When I started reading this book, I also have a severe phone addiction that I know that is not helping what's going on up here. But I just out of habit, like I started reading, I think because I'm so used to being stimulated by multiple things at once that it's very hard for me to learn how to just have one stimuli at a time. Because like, if I'm working, my TV is also on and I'm also answering emails on my phone and I'm also, so to read and to just be fixated on one thing is like such a weird muscle to work that it took me like 20 minutes to read 2 pages because I would start reading and then I would just pick up my phone. I wasn't even looking at anything. I had to put my phone in the other room because that was the only way to not be distracted. But no, I was never.
That's why the only ways I get through books are like listening in the car because I'm
forced to.
I can't look at my phone. I don't have a TV to distract me, so I can only just listen to something. So that's my hack.
I mean, we always talk. We were wondering. We always talk about how I put on a show that's low stakes, like The Office, something I've seen 1,000 times, so I can be on my phone instead of just turning the goddamn TV off. Yeah, because I'm like, I can't be on TikTok all night. That's what I'm going to be doing. But I need something else happening.
I'm checking into both at the same time. Like that's crazy.
And I know I'm not going to miss anything if I lose attention for a little bit because I've already seen it.
Right.
Yeah.
Even new shows are hard for me, or movies, because I'm like wanting to be on my phone.
I just started. I'm trying to do Love Island, and I know I'm trying to do it.
But that show's such a slow like burn. Like some episodes are like just kind of throwaways. No offense, but like nothing happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm also I've tried so fucking hard, and I could not. Every episode was interrupted by me going on my phone, and then I think I'm just going to go on my phone for a little bit, and then the episode ends, and I'm like, is it because I'm just not interested in a show, or is it because I'm just so like I cannot watch television anymore? But then I will say, like, when I watch, like, I'm trying to think of a show that I recently watched, Paradise. Like, I recently watched Paradise. Like, that show had me locked in.
What is Paradise?
I thought you were just telling me about that. What is that?
No, I think
who's that?
James Marsden is the president. Like the world ending.
I would be locked into that too.
It's really wonderful.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
Sounds like something you would be doing.
I like watching like The Studio or Your Friends and Neighbors. Like, that's the only time I can.
Because there are some shows also, I think when you go into a reality show or go into a show like The Office or whatever, I think we also have it in our mind that I don't have to be super fucking locked in to keep up with what's happening. Whereas if I'm watching, Game of Thrones, I can't be like scrolling on fucking TikTok.
I have to have the Game of Thrones like Wikipedia set up with the family tree chart, everything like that, because they'll like focus so heavily one season on one thing and then not revisit it for 3 years.
Dude,
So I'm like, who are these people?
You like blink for 2 seconds, you miss a whole fucking kingdom and situation going on. It's a lot.
Whole family lineage storyline.
That's in a league of its own.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even finish. I wanted to say How to Train Your Dragon, but that
House
is
of
not
the
it.
Dragon.
Yes.
Great movie though.
Great movie. But I didn't even finish it because I wanted to be on TikTok so bad.
Speaking of, How to Train Your Dragon, because I really want to see that, and I feel like we should sell that yesterday. Have you seen Materialists?
That's new.
That's new, yeah.
Is that with Dakota and Pedro
okay. And Chris Evans? Okay, so it's an A24, which you're like, okay, A24 doesn't really do rom-coms.
Right.
It's definitely, the trailer was definitely giving that vibe. Really quickly, people are like, no. So it's more drama. Fair. Fine. Touches on a lot of relational, like, type things. Where did we begin with this?
I wish you had seen it because I want your feedback so bad.
Then I'll make it, okay. You're in your 30s, correct? Okay. So we all have like dated dudes in our 20s that were like the guy that you know you don't have a future with, but it's like toxic and passionate and fun and all that. But you ultimately break up with that guy because you grow up and he doesn't.
Right.
And then, you know, you start to like hold your standards pretty high and you know, you're not willing to date down or date whatever. Maybe you want a man with a lot of money. So Dakota, that's kind of what the situation she sometimes my mouth moves fast. The situation she's in is that she has these really high standards. She's a matchmaker, the whole thing. So she's by profession, she like understands what works and what doesn't work. So Pedro is a really wealthy man, really handsome, so sweet, so kind, like just everything. Like they call him a unicorn.
They call him a unicorn. Ticks the boxes.
Unicorn, yeah. Okay. And she's like, well, what do you want with me? I'm just like not on your level. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she's obviously got some issues. I don't want to give the movie away.
Okay, without giving the movie away, let's just say here's a through line. It's alt-right propaganda for brokies. Okay?
It's like, did a broke man write this? That like,
it's so
his heart was broken because there's no, and no, a woman wrote it and directed it. But I'm like, every woman of our age is going to watch this and be like, bull fucking shit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, yeah, the one we're like horrified that we go with our 3 other friends and we all look at each other after. And I'm like, here's the thing, love who you love. But it's basically like, you know what? All those boxes you have, this height, this bank account, this thing, this education, you're wrong for that.
Go with a guy that makes that calls your job a joke, and doesn't have any money,
and is also incredibly emotionally manipulative.
What is his catch that outweighs all of?
He's hot and he loves her.
He's hot and he loves her.
Okay,
and then I don't. At the end proposes with a finger to put like a caveman. It's a callback from the beginning of the movie, and he's like, this is how he proposes. Want to make a bad financial decision? We've been fighting for our fucking lives to learn financial literacy. We couldn't have a credit card until like 10 minutes ago.
You couldn't take out a bank loan.
I could not have a credit card in the goddamn 670s.
You couldn't you couldn't own a home as a woman. Like
I like don't want to be too much on a soapbox, but I'm sorry. This is the first time in the history of the world that women have the right to be alone because we have our own jobs, we have our own shit, whatever. I don't know. I just took such offense to it.
I took offense to it only because I'm just like, no woman in her right mind who having grown at all in life would go back to that.
Is this a hot take or are people kind of coming together and congregating around this?
I just was hearing that people were having like mixed bag reactions to it. Some people really liked it. Some people, I think they just clued in on the message of just like material shit doesn't matter. Love is what matters. And I'm like, but it does matter.
Yeah.
Those things, unfortunately, they do matter.
I also just think too, if like, I don't go to therapy, but like when I watch clips, they always talk about like one of a huge thing that ends a lot of relationships too is finances. Right? Like if you, like that's a huge just modern day thing that needs to be talked about in the beginning of dating.
People's spending habits, people's debt, people like everything is so important to a relationship because when you do enter into a relationship, a partnership, a marriage, you absorb all that.
Totally.
Whether you want to or not, it's true. And so like, I don't know, just to throw that out the window and be like, you know what? I dated the wealthy guy and I just couldn't love him.
Was he like a hard worker? Was he like what was his?
He was a thespian. He liked to play and a cater waiter job, and there's nothing wrong with that. No tea, no shade. But for me personally, I grew up in a household where the guy, emotionally unavailable, all these things, but to my mother was hot and tall, and then chose his artistic passions over financial stability.
Right.
So I had seen that movie before last night and I was like, no, it's not for me.
We've all seen that movie.
If you would like to be with whoever you want, I'm not, if a brokey is for you, I'm literally do what you want to do. Well, but I just thought it was so like.
It's less than that even because his was clearly feeling very inadequate and would take that out in their arguments on her. So it's just like, that's never going to leave. He's always going to feel like he's not enough. and that is going to lead to every single fight you have. So what are you doing?
Was he at all like resent? I mean, I'm assuming she makes her own money. So was he at all like resentful, or what was his relationship with the fact that she?
Well, he made some like little offhand comment because they were talking about dating, and he's like, "It's not that serious." And she goes, "Dating's not that serious." It's like he knows that's what she does for her living, and so for him to kind of say like,
blow it off.
Yeah, it's like it just shows that his own insecurities and his own situation, and like, I don't know, why would you want to be with somebody who doesn't support you and at least like uplifts like your choices in life?
That's like the basis fundamental thing to start a relationship too, right?
So that was what was the frustrating part about the movie. It was just like, this isn't so inaccurate.
I feel like I have to see it now.
No, I need you to, and then we can like maybe chat about it offline.
Perfect. Okay.
Because here's the thing. Also, I will say, let's give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
One thing I like that they highlighted is marriage is it's a business transaction. It's a business proposal. I think that honestly, marriage is a sham for the most part, and not that it can't be like a source of love and joy or happiness. But I don't think not all women, but women who go into it more often than not than men don't look at it as that. Like you're combining all areas of your life. It is a literal legal contract.
Totally.
So I like that they talked about that.
Nothing highlights that more than when you get divorced. You're like, oh, wow, this is we are very...
Yeah.
Connected. And so, I mean, and luckily mine was pretty smooth and all that. But like, it is so clerical and just business when you get divorced that like the marriage part is, it fools you a little bit because the wedding is very
that's been kind of my, I actually just did one of my podcast episodes about like things that make me feel like and it's crazy because this list is so against the norm that it sounds like I'm a pick-me, the things that I believe. But like I said that if I get married, I don't think my wedding will be the best day of my life. And that's always been something that has made me I feel like when I've said that, people have been like, well, you've never met the right person for you. And I think too, for me, I think twofold. I think one, there are a lot of people that put more of an emphasis on the wedding than the actual marrying of two people.
100%.
And that always is a little bit of I don't want to say a red flag, because if I had a fuck ton of money and a fuck ton of time and I could throw a lavish wedding, like sure. But I just feel like the emphasis that people put on what their ring needs to look like and what the venue and their dress sometimes maybe overcompensates for something else. And I feel like that's not always a popular opinion.
No, that makes all the sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's true.
Yeah. And then I also think too, I don't want to say people get married too fast, but I think about my relationship with my boyfriend. If we had gotten married at 2 years, like when we were still in our honeymoon phase, everything around that wedding would have been more exciting, right? Because you're still in the honeymoon phase. This is so special. But I feel like when you stay with somebody long term and you experience the good and the bad, and then you can still make the decision to get married, I feel like that can be more important too. Because 2 years in, maybe I hadn't gone through the bad yet with my partner, and I didn't know that until kind of time showed that, you know.
Well, and he saw you fall off the bike the other day.
Right.
Super embarrassing.
I mean,
so I'm so glad that it, like,
I
you
did.
guys have gotten through that.
Exactly.
I think being with somebody through all the seasons is like paramount to wanting to get married. But I think also two people get married like too young, because society has been like, if you're not married by 30, like what are you doing? You spinster. There's names for those, like for women specifically, and like if you're still single or unmarried at that time. And
childless cat lady. It's like they try to weaponize it.
Yeah, they do. And it's like I was
silly.
with my ex for 6 years before we got married. We'd been through all, but like
it's so
But I still felt like pressure, and it was just very much like keeping up with the Joneses.
Totally.
And I don't regret it or anything like that. But I also changed so much in my late 20s to my early 30s that like I was like, I am not the same person. I don't recognize that person.
Yeah.
So how could I make this huge life decision when I have not met myself fully yet?
I also feel like, and I tried to verbalize this and I didn't know if it landed, but I feel like something that people in LA have in common, especially transplants, are a lot of us come from more traditional upbringing, and we kind of moving here and accepting that like, hey, in order to achieve the thing that I want, I have to let go of the idea of fitting into a traditional mold, whether it's like getting married and having kids and buying a house early on. I feel like we all have something in common where there's something every day exciting here to do. right? And a lot of us are fortunate enough that it's not always fortunate, but like we don't have a lot of consistency or scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of times, like I look at people that I grew up with that stayed in Massachusetts and live a more traditional life and have a more consistent schedule. A wedding and their wedding season is the chance to do something fun and get together with their girlfriends and do a bachelorette. And there's like so much more of an emphasis on that, where I feel like a lot of people here, because maybe our day-to-day or our career is chaotic, we crave like a little sense of normalcy when we can.
That makes that I've never thought about like that, but it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Like why, and it's almost your brain fighting with things, because you're like, you have this innate drive to like move towards those things, but but your life in reality is very different.
Totally.
Well, it's like here and New York, and I saw a TikTok that was all I do the other day with a gal, and she kind of said it as more of because I don't mean it to, I know you don't mean it to be mean spirited. I don't either. I also think sometimes it like sounds like a pick me thing, but I really am just non-traditional and used to want those things.
Totally.
And then I became a fully formed person and I just feel very differently. But she was like, look, sometimes getting married and having a wedding is the most exciting thing that's going to happen to someone. So let it. And if you're listening back home or wherever you are and you're married and you have kids or those are the things you want, no tea, no shade.
100%.
Like, I think that's great. Everyone has to decide what's right for them. The problem I have is when the patriarchy tries to make you feel like you failed because you're not willing to go along with a system that benefits from sweat equity from women and from our free labor and of running a household and giving up and constantly conceding, and it's just not something.
Well, for so long, no one had options. That wasn't an option to do that.
Right, exactly. I am very much. You do whatever fucking makes you happy. Like
absolutely.
Like I grew up with girlfriends. I think I always felt. I think moving to Los Angeles and also maybe even just social media where the world becomes smaller and we can kind of see where everybody stands, which is also not great. But like, I think that has helped me not feel like the outcast. I think more so my issue was, I remember even as like a very young child, I've always been very nurturing. And I feel like I don't want to say like the mother of my friend group, but I was always the designated driver. I was always the sober one. I was always the one taking care of everybody. So I've always been like that. But all of my friends growing up, or a lot of my friends growing up, always talked about like getting married, or they'd play dolls and it would be like my husband and the wife. And I think for so long, I felt like something was wrong with me because I didn't have that instinct. So I think it's more so following whatever you want to do and whatever makes you happy. And just the people that feel like they go against the grain, having more conversations to let them know that they're not isolated and thinking that is probably where the emphasis should be.
I think so. Like having conversations like this. And you have a podcast you mentioned, but your podcast is called Life is a Joke, which I think is a fantastic name. How long have you been doing that?
I just started. I'm 12 episodes.
Oh, amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing. Congrats.
Terrifying.
Well, we need to take it because we were like talking at you about a movie you haven't seen and asking about your dad.
I'm actually really intrigued.
I want to hear for everyone at home that some that do know, some that don't. Give us your backstory with Nickelodeon, with the whole thing. You said you came back and forth between here and Boston, TikTok. Like, give us your shtick. As the temps start rising, I feel that familiar urge to refresh my closet, but I'm not wasting money on pieces I'll only wear once just for one season. That does not make sense. Quince changes all of that. Their clothes are timeless, lightweight, and far more elevated than anything else at that price point, I'd say. It finally feels like my wardrobe matches my standards, which we all know are pretty high.
Like 100% European linen shorts, dresses from $30, luxe swimwear, Italian leather platform sandals, those kind of standards.
Those standards, exactly. The best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands.
Well, it's because they work directly with top artisans and cut out the middleman. Quince gives you luxury without the markup. Plus, they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. That's a high standard if I've ever seen one.
I just got the black 100% leather oversized bomber jacket. You know, I've been looking for one. It's perf. You guys have to go check it out.
Maybe I will. I'll copy you. Give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/disrespectfully for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/disrespectfully. to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/disrespectfully. I chose Function because it's the best in the world for testing. It's an all-in-one health platform with over 100 advanced lab tests covering your entire bod, 5 times more than the average physical. Comprehensive and focused on critical biomarkers, it offers testing twice a year, available across the U.S., and it's super easy to use. It's recommended by Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and Dr. Casey Means, and hundreds of other health experts.
Kicking off this summer, Function is sharing their Long Live campaign. Long Live is a celebration of the everyday moments that make life worth staying healthy for.
Long live emo night. Long live Sleeping with Sirens concert.
Long live summer pool days.
Long live summer pool days.
Mm-hmm.
At $499 annually, the membership includes the cost of 100 plus lab tests through their nationwide lab partner. And there's over 2,000 locations, so it makes it super accessible to a wider audience. And compared to traditional healthcare costs, that could reach up to like $15,000 for these exact tests.
Lifespans are decreasing, chronic conditions are rising, and cancer is becoming more common in younger people. Knowing what's happening inside is key to prevention, which is why comprehensive testing is so important. Unlike some companies, Function doesn't sell supplements or prescriptions. The insights you get are unbiased and solely focused on your health.
In the spirit of long live and taking control of your health, get a $100 credit towards your annual membership at www.functionhealth.com/DRF. This $100 credit is only for the first 1,000 listeners. Sign up at www.functionhealth.com/DRF. Who are you, babe?
Yeah, I really do feel like this is a casting couch. I grew up in a suburb, was an only child, entered a competition in 2003 or 4. It was called Are You All That? The Search for the Funniest Kid in America, which is fucking nuts. And submitted a self-tape essentially with 10,000 other kids, made top 100, top 50, top 10. Top 5 flew to Los Angeles. We each did a sketch with a member of All That, and then I won.
That's so cool.
And then just stayed in
That's so cool.
Los Angeles. My dad had a business at the time, so he stayed in Massachusetts. My mom quit her job on the spot, flew out with me. I was a competitive gymnast at the time, so I was training at Culver City School of Gymnastics while filming, and I did that for several years. And then it was interesting because I wasn't a child actor. I was just like a funny kid that ended up doing this. So I think that gave me a leg up in the sense that there wasn't any pressure when I was doing it. Whereas, you know, there were kids that like this was their life. So I think something that was beneficial to me was I had a parent with me 24/7. And I had a mom that was able to quit her job and move out with me and be there with me. And then also just that this was something I was doing for fun. It wasn't like I need to be an actor. And then there was an opportunity for me to stay out there essentially and keep doing it. And I was just like, I want to go be a normal kid, normal, you know. So I went back to Massachusetts.
How long did you do it for then?
3 years.
Okay.
And how old were you at the time?
10.
You were young, right?
Yeah, I was 10. I was the
Wow.
youngest cast member.
I remember that show. I loved
Are you
that
kidding?
show.
I'm not going to sing it because I'm a bad singer, but
Yeah.
I still can, I can like
yeah.
see the intro
Oh, yeah.
and like hear the
I get
song.
tagged all the
that.
time on TikTok of people doing the slow-mo jump up to the theme
like
song.
jumping up in the air
Yeah.
and doing
Yeah.
different things.
I mean, but that time and like that era of like Nickelodeon was so just everything.
Yeah, it was it's crazy. I had never seen one fucking episode of All That before I
Really?
booked the show. I only,
Oh.
and honestly, still to this day, I really only watch animation. It's funny, when I like moved back out to Los Angeles in 2015, I like started doing acting classes. I was like, I should probably do this. I haven't acted in fucking 15 years. And like, I remember we went around the room and had to talk about our favorite TV show. When I was like, SpongeBob. And he like pulled me aside. He's like, you got to watch some like real shows. So that's all I watched.
Not if you want to be a voice actor, which
Totally, which I
they
do.
make so
I
much
did as
money.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went back. I on paper had a seemingly normal life. Went to high school, went to college, and then my senior year I interned at Comedy Central in Los Angeles, and I was cutting reels, and stand-up comics would send in their shit, and I remember being like, I'm fucking funnier than some of these people. So I went back to Boston, finished, graduated, moved back out, and just worked as a hostess, worked a bunch of odd end jobs, did the whole dance while full-time auditioning, and then had kind of my break right before COVID. I landed a show on OWN called Ambitions. and we filmed in Atlanta, and a lot was happening during that time. It was like a very bittersweet. I lost 3 family members back to back to back. I was in a very toxic relationship. We were living together. I couldn't afford to break my lease. I was a week on, a week off between LA and Atlanta for 8 months. There's just a lot happening. But that show gave me the confidence to leave my relationship and the financial confidence to leave my relationship. So I left. I moved into a place by myself. I finally was like, an actor again, and I'm out of this relationship. And then COVID happened, and then it was kind of like started all over again. And then I took which ended up being about $10,000 in unemployment, and launched a small business where I would kind of hand make this clothing line. And then I lost all the money. I lost even more money. I was trying to donate proceeds to every collection that I did, and that was making me feel fulfilled, at least for a period of time. And then I was like, I gotta make money. Like I can't do this. I met my boyfriend somewhere in the midst of all of this, and we ended up getting our first dog, Winston.
Your dogs are so cute.
Thank you.
They're so cute.
And not even thinking anything of it, I still had in the back of my mind that I was going to be an actor when everything opened back up. So I was like, I don't want to go on social media. I don't want to be like the TikTok girl. And then
But during pandemic,
totally,
that
was very taboo still. And it was like, there was a part of me that just felt so creatively unfulfilled. And I was like, this could be like a really fun outlet, but I can't do it because maybe it'll affect a job that I'm never going to end up getting anyway. So I started just sharing Winston on my socials, and people loved him. So I went to school for journalism. I loved comedy writing. So I would kind of just start writing these like funny little sketches. And then when brands wanted to pay me, I was like, holy fuck, you want to pay me? So I kind of was like hiding behind him. And I also felt fulfilled like voiceover actor wise. Like I created this little character with him. And after doing that for so long and being able to make that a full-time job, I was like, this is not sustainable. Like he's a dog and I can't rely on this. And one day I was like, I just gotta fuck it. I'm not gonna wait around for this acting thing. I've sacrificed so much for it. Like if the opportunity's in front of me, I'm just gonna go for it. And the second I started committing to social media, things started to blow up, and then I was able to make it a career.
I mean, congrats. That's amazing. So did you want to be a fashion designer? Is that
no?
What clothing was it?
I needed, my whole thing was I love graphic tees and graphic sweatshirts, and I was always shopping in the men's section at fucking and I was like, all of the graphic tees for girls were like, oh my god, first coffee, and I'm like, this shit is so lame. So I was like, I have time, I'm just gonna start making. So I just started kind of making like graphic tees and sweatshirts and like ashtrays and lighters and just that was like what I could do in that moment to feel.
I mean, you have like some of the best style. Like I have like closet envy.
Oh my god, thank you.
Yeah, whenever I'm like, oh, it's a get ready video.
Wow, thank you.
No, like because honestly, like obsessed. I'm like, So I mean, you should be a tastemaker.
I appreciate it.
I'll follow.
I think. Well, you know what it is too. I also, when I started getting tattoos, there was a lot of discourse. There still is discourse of people like, oh, you look so stupid with your tattoos. But I also say that when I was just pursuing acting, and when you're a broke actor, there has to be a level of desperation. You have to be doe-eyed. You have to be willing to do anything because you need that job to pay your rent. So I felt so out of control of my brand, my body, my appearance, because I was pigeonholed into a niche for a job that I wasn't even really working. So I felt pressure like, okay, I have to be girl next door, even though I didn't want to be girl next door. I wanted to do comedy, but like that was off the table because I was already branded as this. So it was like, don't color your hair, don't get piercings, don't get tattoos. And then you do that for so long, also missing funerals and weddings because you might get a job, you might be pinned.
Like you're in limbo constantly.
Oh my God, it's terrible. It really is like a different sort of mental game. And then the second everything shut down, I was like, fuck it, I'm getting tattoos. And it was like the first time that I felt in charge of my brand and my creative and all of that. So it has been very freeing in the sense that I feel like I finally kind of have freedom of how I do things, which has been nice.
The ownership and agency is really a freeing thing.
That girl, I would say. She's that girl.
Yeah.
She's that girl.
But you have to go through like that. You have to go through that desperation doe-eyed thing to appreciate it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. I mean, when I moved to LA almost 20 years ago, and that was like my life for so long. And obviously, and then it was, you know, because reality TV was heavily stigmatized too. Like if you want to be taken seriously, you know, and that still might be the case. But, you know, there was a lot of people that wouldn't want to go near a reality TV
100%.
show. But I was at this point where I'm like, I've been in like a terrible life-altering accident. And I was like, nothing is certain.
Yeah, totally.
Just fucking carpe diem vibes. So like, I just was like, I'm just going to try this out and see what happens. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, I think it's too, I always say, I will always love acting. I'll always love, I don't really love the process of getting there, but once I'm there, it's great. But I think for me, at least when I fully went into content creation, I'm like, okay, what is it about acting that I love and how can I get it somewhere else?
Yeah.
So I don't have to, like, maybe it doesn't have to be that medium in which I accomplish the part of that industry that I love. At the end of the day, the bare bones is I like to entertain. I don't need fucking Hollywood to entertain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And now with what I do, definitely has a lot of its downfalls, but I can kind of entertain as little or as much as I want or as frequently or as least frequently as I want. And that's something that I didn't. You maybe work a job or two when you're acting and you're the 99%. So, you know.
Well, that's why I feel like, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say some of my favorite TikToks are like, oh, look at me going to my day job because I wouldn't do a little silly dance on the internet in 2020. Like I relate to you about so many things. I was in the corporate world for 11 years for the most part, except for a small chunk of time where I did Vanderpump Rules for a season. Very randomly got involved. Was not my dream. Was not my thing. My season aired January 2020. So then COVID happened. I got fired from my day job because of the show.
Really?
Oh yeah. Then quit the show and then got back into the corporate world and then was doing that job for 3.5 years up until last August. So when we started this podcast in January of 2024, and it took me 9 months to be comfortable enough to be like, I just know I'm meant for more. Yeah. And I used to do stand-up comedy.
I was going to say, you did stand-up comedy.
I did stand-up comedy. I quit that because of COVID, but then continued quitting it because I'm a pussy and have anxiety and whatever. So like TikTok is a fun little passion of mine right now, but it's just something I do that's silly. But like, and was so late to the game. I was like, wonder if my bills would have been paid so much more had I just started doing it in 2020. But also
probably
the week I quit my job, I got 5 tattoos. And I mean, I have a lot of little tattoos, but including a slutty Grim Reaper on my hip. So I just relate to you is that like, there's something about feeling so out of control in your life and body and wanting to be like, I had my nipples pierced for a long time. Yeah. I used to have my septum pierced, but I had a horseshoe because of my super corporate job.
Yeah.
I would flip it up in the morning so no one could see it. But like, I just felt like I never got to be in that time when I chose stability because of my childhood and was just wanting a safe place. But I couldn't ever really be myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of you and super happy for you that you've done that and it's worked out and you're super hot. So that's cool.
Yeah. No,
I think it was I think it was really helpful that I kind of like tested it out with my dog first because I got to hide behind him but still understand the psychology. Because at the end of the day, it's a fucking business. Like anytime someone takes something, like my page is like not deep. I always say, I'm like, this is who I am, but also it's a stand-up routine. Like this is like the heightened version. I am playing a caricature of myself. You know what I mean? Like this is
it's like reality TV.
Yeah, it's like it's who I am, but to some point there is this, bit about entertaining and whatever. It's not that deep, but there is a psychology to figuring out like how people react to things and what people gravitate towards. And I was able to learn all of that through kind of hiding behind my dog's socials and just watching patterns of how people ingest social media and what they like and what they don't like. And then that way, when I feel like I was ready to fully do my stuff, I had a little bit of intel. I wasn't just like raw dogging the process. So that was my little cheat too.
Raw dogging. My cat is very elegant and gorgeous and should be famous.
But that bitch to work.
I know. I literally I'm like, I'm going to have a chat with Laszlo when I get home and be like, listen, time to start pulling your weight. I'm a really good mom and I think I was always meant to be a stage mom.
There you go.
I know. Well, my dogs don't live with me, so I can't really do much about that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for you, but I have that runway, so I want to work on it.
You should.
So
You're so good at it. See, the thing is, I don't like the trends that are happening. Just
fuck the trends.
I will, but I have no idea even what they are.
Yeah.
Like someone's like, oh, you know the TikTok trend? I'm like, no. I don't
but that
know
is such I am so envious of your mind because it must be.
But I feel like because now, you leave your job that you've had for a decade plus, you decide that you're like, I can't be leaving my future up to something subjective as my hair color, or whether or not I have tattoos. But then when you're just like, okay, so what do I want to pivot to? What do I want to do? And it's like, okay, well, I've amassed like a following, so I probably should do something with that. But I'm like, it gives me anxiety.
It is that I think
she's like,
I think that's like the weird thing too, is like when you're an actor, or let's just say a traditional celebrity, and I feel like reality TV and content creators probably face the same kind of downsides, in the sense that when you're an A-list celebrity, when you're an actor, there is this understood level of separation between the general public.
Yeah.
Because like we just ingest you at certain times when you do a movie or a show or you release an album. Whereas the beautiful thing about content creation, or even reality TV, is that you kind of have this direct line between you and the people on the corner of the internet that like what you do or whatever it is. But then there's also this immense amounts of pressure, because you have to be fully connected to people 24/7. And then, boundaries don't make for good content, but boundaries make for sustainable content. So the question is like, do I want to ride this and be the number one creator and do this and just absolutely fucking burn out? Or do I want longevity in this? And when you want longevity, it's finding those boundaries. But it's once you kind of invite everybody in, everybody wants to be in 24/7.
Yeah.
And that's what was really hard for me with the podcast, is that I have always, like, I think comedy is so important, and comedy has like saved my life many a times. And I really do believe in the power of comedy. But the downside of it is that most people that use comedy as a tool are fighting other things, and they use that as a mask or a temporary Band-Aid. And I obviously show more of the funny parts on social media, and people love that, because I crave that from people too. There are people that I just want to go to and I just want to laugh. So finding that pressure of like being that for people, but then also you can only connect with your audience so much when you're only showing them the good,
Correct.
And then there's this fear of like, oh, if I do a podcast and like one day I'm laughing my fucking ass off and the next day I'm in tears, which happens literally every other fucking episode, are people going to be like, whoa, hold on, this is like...
I think that's super relatable more than anything.
I've learned that it is super helpful and beneficial, and it also kind of holds me accountable to check in with how I'm feeling. But it was really scary in the beginning, because it's just easier for me to use comedy rather than like I like just put things in the back of my brain, and then eventually 10 years down the line, I'm like, oh, I never dealt with that thing, So yeah, it's hard to...
It's like building out your brand of like how, like what percentage comedy, what percentage like just raw emotions am I going to give? Because then talking about sustainability of content creation, which freaks me out more than anything, because like it can start off really earnest and like, this is what I'm doing for myself. And if people like it, they like it. And then, as you grow in your popularity and your whatever, then all of a sudden become like influencer stay, and then that changes with the content that you're putting out. And like there's so many people I follow for so long that like whatever they were doing in the beginning, they have just completely abandoned, and now they're just like this like Instagram celebrity type person. And it's like, so that's hard. I mean, I feel like trying to commit to like what your brand's going to be online and the content that you do and keep it consistent, allow yourself to grow, not like but like that to me is like, I commend people that are able to do it, because if it is so overwhelming for me to think about.
It is. It's also just overwhelming it's a very, I don't like talking about it because we are so privileged to do what we do, and there's so many upsides, but I think the downsides are very specific to what we do, and it's not something that is totally relatable in a lot of other jobs. Having direct access to thousands or millions of people's opinions of you at any given moment in time is wild. And for me, I'm equipped to deal with rejection. That was my entire acting career, was just rejection. But it becomes the norm, right? The norm is rejection, and the acceptance is like, oh, that's the bonus in your job if you get acceptance. But with social media, it's that's a weird thing to do, is to deal with that.
Well, especially because people are... They'll be your biggest supporters, biggest fans, but they those same ones prey on the downfall. They build you up to tear you down, and you never know when that time is going to come.
I mean,
it's so futile.
Anonymity brings out the worst in people and the mob mentality of all. And it's like the expectations from people when you're consistently putting out content of give me more, give me more, give me more. And then you're not doing exactly how I like it. So fuck you. And I think that people are just like on a hairpin trigger about what, moves them from an emotive perspective because they feel out of control in their life. And they're the ones with the no profile picture in their mom's basement somewhere.
I think also, like, I always say, I fucking was such a Instagram, TikTok influencer hater. Like, I am very, like, that is not lost on me that I was... I guess I had a really stereotypical idea of what things looked like because I think how content creation and influencing started was really just like one niche. And now it's anybody with anything can go to any corner of the internet and feel seen or accepted, which is so now it's like a little bit less taboo. But yeah, it's hard too because with what we do, a lot of times, unless you're a Nepo baby or unless you do something else, a lot of people start at the bottom and you have no money and you're trying to make this your job and you have these people that are super loyal and they help build you up and then and you build your brand, let's say, on relatability, but inevitably the more success and hard work you put into it, the less relatable you become.
Yeah.
So it's finding a way to keep who you are or what your brand was built on consistent no matter what the circumstances are. But that's also like the weird thing too.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I mean, I won't call anyone by name, but there were some people I followed in the early days of TikTok because they did one thing specifically.
Yeah.
It was no personal life stuff, but they would talk about specific things or something. And now they're like
changing it completely.
Well, now they're doing, and I'm so happy for them because they're great people, but I'm just like, I miss that though. Totally. Like I miss when you did stuff like that, and then now you got some really great opportunities, and that's like the hope I think of anyone who like commits their time to this. But like it is such a bummer that like
I think sometimes what gets lost in the sauce when someone isn't relatable anymore because they hit a certain echelon of success. I wish that more people who hit that would just acknowledge it 100%. And be like, hey guys, things are different now, like, and then adapt content to that. But it's, for me, it's where people try to pretend that they're still who they were. And by the way, whether we're talking about money, success, whatever, we're all always evolving, always changing. I hope you are not the same person you were 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago.
I think it's just not being like, tone deaf too, right? Like I mean, when I started doing, I remember when I did my first fashion week, I said to my team, I'm like, this is so douchey that I'm fucking doing this. Like it's not like I love fashion and I love this, but this is such a like I'm worried about doing this because this is usually the shit that I would talk shit about. And I was like, listen, whatever we do, I just want to be super, like, I want to really verbalize to people that this is not fucking normal. Like, this is not the norm. This is like, it is douchey. Like, I think just staying, you're allowed to grow and have different interests and different hobbies and even think of things differently. But I think if you can just find a way to always bring, like I even said when I started doing fashion stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to stop wearing zit stickers or like dress high fashion in everyday life now to fit into this. Like this, I'm still going to be this person. And if there are brands that are like, hey, that's cool, that's great. But I'm not going to completely lose who I am to fit into these different spots, you know? And I think that's what's the goal.
And I think you do in a way that's like self-deprecating to like a degree where you're like, it's because, I don't know. I think it's, people sense that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's also, and I say this all the time, but I'm very appreciative. I'm definitely on the older end of internet personality spectrum, right? I feel like I don't like influencers or content creators. It's a very young job. It's like,
oh my God, they're all 22. I am a 34-year-old big ass age woman. So I feel like I'm sunsetting that and I'm late to the game.
But it gives you a benefit too.
But like to what you're saying earlier is that like now like there are so many micro influencers and niche pockets on TikTok where it's like if you want to strictly talk about like music, cooking, and it doesn't, and for those it doesn't matter how old you are. I think the early days of influencing when it was like very fashiony and very curated was a young person's game. But
I'm sure you feel the same way about being on reality. Like, is there a part of you that like, oh, if I that's doing reality or having your life exposed at a young age when you look back and you're like, I wasn't making the right decisions, I wasn't doing the right things, and that's aired, like, I'm sure you think about that as you get older.
It's immortalized. Yeah. It's wonderful. No, I mean, yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, I look at other shows like Housewives. I'm like, they're doing the same shit.
Right,
they're all
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I knew what I signed up for and I just committed to it.
Yeah.
All the way through. But yeah, it's.
You think about if you had a reality show right now, how different it would be if you were, right? Like that's
in the last like 2-3 years, how much my life's changed. But like I'm appreciating life these days. I'm like, oh my God, first of all, I can modify my body anytime I want because we don't have to worry about continuity.
Yep.
I get to have private personal relationships and that sounds insane, but it's like for over a decade.
Totally.
I didn't, and some people are like, oh, like it's hard. It is hard.
Yeah. 100%.
Kathy, it's very hard.
It's always a Kathy.
I understand how privileged and I am to do something like that. And it was so much fun. Like what a fucking experience. But like everyone that walked into that show that wanted to be on it.
Yeah.
There's so many people that didn't last.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I gotta like show up and I gotta talk. Like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, well, that's the job.
Yeah.
So it is. It wears on you, but like now I'm so appreciative of life and just like little tiny nuances and things like that. That it's just like thinking about opening up to social media in a way that lets people back in. I'm very nervous.
Yeah. Do you have like a little bit of kind of PTSD from being on reality?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Because I have like incredibly thick skin now, but talking about people's opinions of you that you didn't ask for, that you don't know, it's like just it's a wild existence to have to experience, but. I think it's made me grow a lot. And also like sometimes when you're hearing things over and over, whether it's true or not, it does force you to look at yourself. It is a very cathartic, therapeutic process to go through because you're like, wow, I kind of do handle like those situations. It's a pattern in me that I should probably fix. Like it's like holding a mirror. Some people look in the mirror and they're like, I look great. Some people are like, I should fix some things.
Yeah.
Almost every American has some sort of relationship with soda from childhood. Some people grew up drinking it all the time, then quit. And some people are still addicted to it and trying to quit.
Okay, I didn't have a lot of pop growing up, but one that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. Have you ever cracked an ice cold Fresca?
Oh my gosh, I love a grapefruit, spicy soda.
Spicy.
I was like a cherry cola or like a vanilla cola. I was big into like the little like flavor twist on them. And still am, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm big cherry cola gal. Olipop uses a functional ingredient blend to support digestive health. Olipop offers a delicious alternative to traditional soda, providing mainstream consumers with the flavor they love without the typical health trade-off.
90% of Americans consume more than the USDA's daily recommended added sugar intake, which is 30 grams. Sweetened beverages like soda are the leading source of added sugars in the American diet.
Olipop is much, much lower in sugar than conventional sodas, with only 2 to 5 grams of sugar from natural sources. No added sugar. My favorite is the vintage cola. I had it the other day at Something About Her. It has only 2 grams of sugar as compared to the regular Coca-Cola, which has 39 grams of sugar, but still has the classic, nostalgic, incredible taste.
You want to talk about nostalgia? Their orange squeeze has 5 grams of sugar compared to orange Fanta, which has 44 grams of sugar. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. But it still gives me that same feeling of cracking open an orange soda for an episode of Kenan and Kel.
OMG. I've got to try that sometime. And, you guys should too, because I'm doing it, so do it. Get a free can of Olipop, buy any 2 cans of Olipop in store, and we'll pay you back for one. Works on any flavor, any retailer. Just go to drinkolipop.com/disrespectfully.
Olipop is sold online, drinkolipop.com and Amazon, and available in almost 50,000 retailers nationwide, including Costco, Walmart, Target, Publix, Whole Foods, Kroger, and H-E-B.
Getting Botox on Wednesday. I'm so excited. Okay, really quick pivot, because I know we're running out of time. And I just need to know tell me about the Playboy of it all. When was this? What was it? Because I know it's just, I'm literally obsessed. So I'm hoping someone who worked on that team is hearing this and like wants someone older than you, less successful.
Oh my God. Let's get it going.
I'll show my tits.
Can we do it disrespectfully?
Oh my God. Hello, Playboy people. Where are you? Please, we want to do it disrespectfully.
Spam the comments.
We want to do it disrespectfully. Playboy spread.
That would actually be epic.
I know you follow me. So this,
yeah.
Okay,
where are you DMing them for me? Okay, but you look so good. And
thank you.
Tell me, what was it? And when? Because this was what, like 6 months.
This was this was right. Actually, they had reached out to me right when they kind of changed their whole brand, which I want to say was a couple of years ago. They had reached out, and I remember thinking, it's not the right time for me. I really I want to have something alongside this that I can kind of, I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was going to be meaningful. And then right when our podcast was about to launch, they happened to reach out again. And I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. What an awesome way to announce the podcast, because I just feel like it just represented my podcast and my brand so well. That was like a huge milestone. That was our like press release of the Life's a Joke pod, which was really awesome. Yeah. That was really cool. And we had like a creative call, and they were like, what do you, I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm happy to.
No, you looked so
do
fire.
this.
I'm like,
thank you.
I'm so jealous, but like, you're
we'll get you.
I'm trying to say,
apps.
Okay.
Wait, how do we get?
I always like to preface this. I was a very, very competitive gymnast for my.
So like from childhood,
I've had literally a 6-pack since I was 10 years old. And although I am very active, right now I do probably my predominant workout is martial arts. I've been doing martial arts for 10, 12 years.
What kind?
I started with just mixed martial arts. I did karate, I did jujitsu, and now I just do boxing. I really want to start Krav Maga. That's on my list at some
Holy
point.
shit.
But boxing is, I got a little boxer
I
guy.
I did Taekwondo for 4 years.
Fuck
and
yeah.
hurt my knee and then quit. But I as an adult have wanted to circle back to it. That's cool.
It is hard. I feel like I'm always fucking injured. I'm supposed to go tomorrow. I don't even know if I can with my broken ass.
Oh
hands.
no. Well, that's pretty bad.
Dude,
So
I'm fucking
you
pissed.
could like how like who do you think you could take on?
See, this is anytime like people start like being mean in my comments, which I'm very grateful for my very, very loyal followers. They'll come in and be like, don't fight with her, she'll kick your ass. I think you learn I think people that actually do martial arts know how the people that are like, I grew up in Boston where like dudes would fight over anything. Like I dated guys that like if a dude looked in my direction, they'd throw a punch. Those are not the guys that are doing martial arts.
Did you get in fights in high school?
In college, I would say like our nightlife culture, I don't know what it's like now, but it was quite toxic. It's just a really big drinking culture in Boston. And then God forbid if one of our sports teams won or lost, everyone's drunk. It's just a lot of, and we're all cold. Like it's winter where everyone's cold, everyone's fighting. The people that I know that have done martial arts, those are the people that will do anything to not escalate a fight.
They could
100%. They know they could kill somebody. And it's also, you're kind of taught in martial arts, like you only use this if you need it. So
and a respect thing. You will never I would never hit someone first ever.
100%.
It's only self-defense.
I haven't hit anyone yet.
I think also
I think I'm going to one day.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I'm like, if I haven't yet, I think I'm good. But I think listen, at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's about technique. But if someone bigger than me came to fight me, they would probably knock me out. I'm really quick. I'm very nimble. So I think like if anybody were ever trying to fight me, I think my skill would be being able to dodge and avoid it. I have really fast reflexes, which I just fell on an e-bike. Like, I swear, I really am. I feel like I have to keep saying.
That's what they call a callback in the industry, folks.
Right. I swear I'm fucking nimble. But that's what I would do. I would just kind of like do, a little bit of this. But yeah, I know, like I walk where I go to boxing. It's not always the safest walk at night. So I've been doing this and I always tell fucking women to do this shit, especially in LA. But like, if I don't have my pepper spray, and if you don't have your pepper spray, always walk with your car key in between your...
This is an automatic key. Always.
Yeah, always. Like if I don't have my pepper spray, I just kind of... I think I would be more confident using that than pepper spray, to be honest with you.
I would hurt myself.
Same, because I'm like, I got to unlock it.
I don't trust myself with things like that. Also like a gun.
Yeah.
I have a taser. I never don't have it
Have
on
you
me,
have you felt it? Have you ever tased yourself?
I was tased with a fake stick of gum when I was young, so it's like that like whole thing, like those little jokes are probably not the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
And I know it's like you're supposed to get trained on it, but like in terms of that of like knowing what it feels like, but like I get the gist.
Know it hurts.
I get the gist. I think that my biggest strong suit for because I understand physiology. Right. Like if someone's bigger than you, they are. But female rage is a big one for me. And that stems from me specifically from a man trying to make me feel unsafe from my childhood and past. Like the way that I go from 0 to 100 when someone invades my space or my friend's space, it's like I see black. Like I just am so angry. So I feel like you're nimble. I'm angry. What are you?
I'm definitely angry.
Though. Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel a little female. You're angry too.
Yeah, I actually of course. Listen to me. I do you know what? Yeah. Anger mostly.
I got torched on social media the other day, which was like, and then the other part of me is like, I understand people, like there are people that do stuff like this for attention, but I didn't even think of, where I box, there is, so we do different, you do like you go in the ring, you do the heavy bag, you do weights, and then you do a speed bag, and you go around and you do like 3 circuits of that. So where I do my speed bag is there's basically a big glass window, and it's a main street, and there's bars, and a lot of more times than not, like a drunk homeless person, we leave our door open because we have no AC. So like a drunk homeless person will kind of walk in and like start saying, and like our boxing coach will like just de-escalate if needed. So a lot of times we're right next to a very, very popular bar. So sometimes we'll have drunk people kind of walk back and forth. It's not an issue. I always film myself boxing. I've been doing it forever just because I like to watch and see it. So I was filming myself on the speed bag as I do every class, and I'm doing it. And this like drunk guy comes up to the window, and mind you, like I'm ripping on the speed bag. He comes up to the window and he starts kind of heckling me, and he has like a beer in his hand. And I think I'm really good at, I've just learned not like the inside I want to say fuck yourself, but then like outside I'm like, okay, I can't do that, right? You know what I mean? So I was just like, I'm good, thanks. And he kind of walked away, and then he kind of came back, and then I was like, dude, and I started getting annoyed. And that I post my boxing clips all the time, and I thought it was funny that like, oh, the one time I'm filming, this guy is at the window. You can't hear everything he's saying because there's a glass window, but the whole comment section was men being like, because the text on screen was like, can you imagine working on self-defense and being heckled? Like the irony of like, I'm in a boxing class and you're heckling me right now. And everyone was like, come fight me. You could never fight a man, which is like not what I'm saying. And then they're like, I bet you he said nothing. He was just, God forbid a man hits on a woman. And then like women were being like, this is not the time and place, like hit on a woman. But it was crazy because I was like, I feel like I'm very aware of differing opinions on things that like sometimes even when I post something, I'm like, I can see how people can take this either way. Whereas I'm like, that's wild that was controversial. That like I'm in a workout class.
That's the red pill brain rot. And also always those men who are in the comments saying that, those are the ones that are self-identifying good guys. Yeah. You're like, I bet he was such a good guy. You're like, okay.
And like, here's the thing. Everybody gets, I'm like, it's this like gut reaction of like, everybody gets really defensive. Like, if you're a good dude, you're a good dude. Like, this has nothing to do with you. I'm just talking about the dude that's hitting on women while they're actively in a self-defense class. Like, it's fucking mind-boggling.
I think if you don't see a problem with that, then you're the problem.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, it's already raising my blood pressure because I'm like, I say it nice one time and then we're done with being nice. So good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're talking about things that are annoying and awful right now, we didn't do Daddy Day, but let's just do basement. Do you have anyone particularly like to stick in your basement? We're gonna. I feel like that guy we could stick in there, but anything. Person,
I mean,
place,
I don't really know if I want him in my house to be in my basement.
I'll put him in mine. You can have him in mine. But go ahead. What is in your basement this week?
What is
reading?
Basement.
E-bikes.
I mean, the fucking bitch that did her little fucking thing. I don't want to call somebody out, but
do please.
Yeah, we love that.
I really hate doing this because I don't like how the internet goes after people sometimes. I just don't agree with. I don't know if you guys saw it's deleted. But there was a woman that made a very passionate video about how she was so angered about a girl who was wearing zit stickers. So this girl does this video, which here's the thing. I always say, like, for example, I don't like Golden Goose sneakers. I say this all the time. But I also say out of the other side of my mouth, you should wear whatever you want. You should not conform, wear whatever you want. You might not convince me that it's good or I like it, but you should never do something because people don't like it. This girl made this video about how she was so angered that she went to a store and it was, by the way she was describing it, this girl sounded like a minor, which is also weird that she's mad at it. It doesn't matter. She was so angered about how this is why Gen Z gets a bad rap. This is why we're not professional. She was wearing zit stickers in public. It's so disgusting.
That's the point of them.
And for me, I struggled with horrific acne and cystic acne, and I still have a on and off relationship with bad breakouts. And I kindly commented. She deleted the video, but then it's all over the. She got ripped to shreds. But my point in that was you don't have. I'm also biased because I wear them all the time. But I think that the reason why people wear them, I wish when I had horrible cystic acne in high school that I could have worn a star on my face rather than have an exposed pimple.
100%.
They're also, regardless of whether you think they work, it helps you to not pick them. And if you think they're ugly, that's fine. But people that struggle with acne, sometimes leaving their house is like the hardest challenge of the day. And being able to put like a cute little Hello Kitty sticker on your face makes it so much better. And I was so mad by that because I was like, damn, I wonder how many young people are seeing this and now feel embarrassed by something that I feel like gives this generation so much confidence, and I wish it existed. So she's probably a great person, and she can maybe just reconsider her opinion. But I would like to put her in my basement because then we can talk. I can go down there and we can have a conversation.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm not going to like kill her or anything,
I think,
you know?
Oh, yeah. It's a safe, the basement's a safe
the basement's
space.
like,
tie him up.
It would be nice. My basement would be like a game room. Like you could play a little Pac-Man. I'd check in, be like, hey, remember that thing you said?
Mine's like a game room too with the saw clown.
Yeah, it's more like
your basement's nicer than
saw
mine.
trap kind of game room.
Perfect.
But yeah. Mine's really simple. I'm just going to put that horrible movie we saw.
Materialists. We're gonna share that one.
I mean, honestly, like I don't know how. Like it takes a lot to get a movie made. How many rewrites on a script just through the chain of command, and everyone's like, "Yep,
yeah."
Like I don't fucking buy it. Like I don't buy it.
We also just desperately need good stuff right now.
Yeah,
so I think our standard is a little bit
like Nicole Kidman says, like, you know, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Yeah. We come here to feel, to laugh, to cry. Like, what are we doing?
Well, I came here for now. I want a lobotomy on the way out.
Yeah, I do.
Before the credits started, we all looked at each other like, what the fuck?
Oh, you guys saw it in the theater.
Yeah. It was a whole thing.
Anyway, okay.
Mine is going to be the Materialists also, but then also people who announce they're unfollowing you. I just went to the protest. I'm very vocal on social media about my values and ethical beliefs. You can call those political beliefs. I think it's an ethical moment, whatever. The amount of people that called me a dumb cunt in the DMs, which I'm like, so you think I'm pretty. And then also who are just like, I'm unfollowing you, and are just so silly.
Yeah.
It sincerely doesn't, it just makes me roll my eyes. In general, I think anyone, if I don't like someone on the internet and I want to see them, I just block them or unfollow them.
Totally.
So I just think it's so silly.
It's funny that when people say that, they expect you to be like, oh my God, no. Like, no one ever had that reaction to anybody ever unfollowing them.
It's the same people that comment like, this is stupid, or who cares about this?
Yeah,
they're
totally.
On a post that they're scrolling past, they're stopping. I don't even know who this is anyway. Who cares?
Totally. Or honestly, the worst is the people that follow you and they're always writing bad shit on your posts. Oh, and it's like follow back. I'm like, this is a simple solution here.
I love hobbies, but that will never be one of mine.
Yeah, it's wild.
I had time yesterday, so responding back to a few went a little lower than I probably should have.
Yeah, sometimes. And then also the people that want to like, when you post something on your story, they want to counter it with some propaganda or something. Yeah. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, you can unfollow. Like, you're not going to change my mind. Also, like,
we're not going to be going back and forth in a fucking DM exchange right now about this.
Yeah.
No, I know. And some of the comments I just responded, I was like, why are you following me, you little freak?
Yeah.
Just unfollow me. Get out of here. Yeah. Or like I did, my favorite emoji combo is like the two eyes with the mouth.
Yeah.
It's like and one gal, I just put a space between the two because it made it more like looking at what I was looking at her profile picture. And I was like, oh, I had time today.
The best is when you send it to and you go, yeah. I fucking told her.
Yeah, that feels good.
Anywho,
thank you so much for coming.
Thanks I was honored that you guys wanted to chat with me.
Oh my God, we're so happy. Tell everyone, I'm sure most people know who you are, but where they can find you and where so you can listen to your podcast.
Well, I'm Christina Kirkman on TikTok and Instagram. It's your girl _Willa and it's your boy _Winston are my dogs. Life's a Joke _pod, and then Life's a Joke pod anywhere you get your podcast.
When are your episodes out?
On Thursdays.
Well, great. They're going to hear this on Wednesday, and then your next episode is out
it's like
on Thursday.
a little foreplay.
So yeah, absolutely. And well, speaking of I'm going home and going to start making vlogs for my cat. So we'll see how this works out for me.
Do it.
I was like, foreplay.
Okay.
You're like, I'm going to go home and masturbate.
Well, anyway, thank you so much, Christina. This was amazing.
This was fun.
Happy
Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like, disrespectfully.